Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's
All right,
do it.
what's up, what's up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele.
And welcome to Spitballin.
What episode is this? 5? We're on 5.
We're on 5. Wow, we're 5 deep, dude. We're 5 deep. We're doing it. I think it's official. We are officially podcasters at this point, right? Like, isn't that a good number? 5?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. It's
I mean, maybe not. Am I setting the bar too low? We did 5. Yeah, we did it.
We're good. We're done, dude. It's hot
done.
as hell down here in LA today, man.
Oh man, it's nice.
Cool. I was wearing a hoodie last week. Remember?
Yeah, that's right. You're wearing your. Hold up. Let me just let's make. Yeah. That's not just a hoodie. That's a Basquiat hoodie. Basquiat hoodie.
It was a good one.
It was a good one, man. I mean, you were excited about it. You can't.
But now
you can't wear it outside the house.
those are my pink shoes. They gotta keep them in the closet.
You're the best dressed comedian at home ever.
Oh, it's funny. No, dude, it's like 90 something here today, dude. And I don't have air in this room, so you can't be blabbing off like you usually do in this podcast today. We keep it tight.
I'm blabbing off, really. You're the one sitting in a windowless room.
Yeah. It's if there's some windows, but if I open it up, you're gonna hear East Hollywood.
We got police sirens, hookers outside. We got the police chasing them, the whole shebang. Yeah. All right. Well, it is nice up here, man, in the Bay. Up in Oakland, it's nice and cool and crisp. Feels good, bro.
Good air. That's another thing, dude. I hate the air down here. I wake up hacking all the time, and like every morning, my sinuses mess with me, and then, but then in the afternoon it goes away. But it's right, especially when it's hotter, dude. The air quality is worse down here.
Well, hold up. Did you see the day or the year the Earth changed on Netflix, or the day the Earth changed or something? Either the day or the year, but basically they talk about what happened when the quarantine happened, like when everything shut down. Dude.
Oh yeah. And then, well, I know how like Earth got way better,
but you got to watch it, dude, because they show the air quality in LA, in Hong Kong, dude, in India, the air after I think it was like 3 days or something like that. People saw the Himalayan mountains for the first time in 30 years.
Wow. And those are the biggest mountains in the world.
Exactly.
Because of pollution.
Exactly. Can you imagine the smog so thick that you can't see the Himalayas for 30 years? Like, there are people who've been born and lived their lives and never seen the mountains until the whole world shuts down, the smog clears out, and they're like, oh, look, they're mountains. It's mountains. Dude, you got to watch it, man. It's good. It's really good.
What's it called? The what?
It's either the day
Earth changed.
The year the Earth changed. Netflix. I can look it up real quick, but it was it's good,
I'll
man.
Check it out.
Okay.
No, I love all that nature stuff. Like all I watch, I love David Attenborough shows.
Yeah,
and
man.
All that.
Part of loving David Attenborough shows is loving his voice and his accent. It's good.
It's very good. Like, because they'll do other ones like it was so stupid when they first released Planet Earth in the 2000s, the original. They didn't know if Americans would be able to handle his voice, I guess. So they had
really
what's her name do it for the American version. Who's a woman who was in Silence of the Lambs?
Oh,
Sigourney Weaver is who I'm thinking of. Not her. You're right. I'm thinking Foster. Not Jodie Foster. Sigourney Weaver from Aliens. Sigourney Weaver
from Aliens.
I think she was the one who did it.
She has a good voice.
She has a good voice, but it was unnecessary. And then now, ever since then, they've done Attenborough. I will say, you ever watch Orange is the New Black?
Yes, I watched the first 3 seasons.
Okay, so you know the one young girl who Poussey?
Yes.
I forget the actress's name.
The black girl with the short hair.
Yeah. She did one of them. She did a night one for Netflix, The Nature, and she did pretty good for like. And I've been watching this shit for 30 years. And I love Attenborough. So when someone else comes on and does it, and she did a really good job. It was like at night, so they film them all at night. The animals, it's crazy.
Wait, hold up. They had the black girl do the night one.
Well,
really?
Night vision.
No, yeah, really. You know, what's funny to me about that is Americans love accents. They love accents. They love Australian accents. They love English accents. English.
Star Wars. So much Star Wars is English accents for like the bad guys.
Exactly. They love accents. So the idea that they didn't know how they would receive it. Oh man, Americans love accents. Wait, hold on. The bad guys have English accents in Star Wars? Who do you think about?
Like a lot of the a lot of the guys in charge have British accents. It's like a common thing. Oh really? yeah, check it out. It's funny, man. Anytime and another thing, of course, anything Middle Ages, Game of Thrones, everyone has accents,
but that's they have to have an accent. If they don't have an accent, it's fantasy, but they have to have, if it's kings, right? Kings and queens, it can't be American accents because we ain't got that shit, right? Like it's gotta be, my liege, Lord.
There's a great behind the scenes of Star Wars when they were making it, and the guy who plays Darth Vader was a bodybuilder from Britain. But all the dialogue they did was you could hear his voice on set in the rough cuts, right? So he'd be like, tear this ship apart and find out where these droids are.
No way.
It's not intimidating at all.
A bodybuilder with a high-pitched voice?
Oh, David Prowse, and then like Mike Tyson.
That's fun. Well, Mike Tyson, yeah. If I feel like this, if you punch it like Mike Tyson, you can sound like whatever you want to. Hey, look, I'm sorry that I had to beat the guy. I didn't beat. I'll eat your babies. I'll eat your babies. Man, Mike Tyson has one of the greatest lines I ever heard someone say. Remember, he was talking to a reporter. This was like shortly after he got out, which I thought was crazy. Like when he got released from prison, the first thing they did was take him to a press conference. I'm like, you don't want to take that dude home? Like give him a sandwich, like let him decompress.
Give him a sandwich.
Give him a sandwich or something, let him decompress. Dude, they took that dude to a press conference, and then somebody in the press conference said something that was not fresh, and Mike Tyson went slap the off, and he's like, you know what? Come over here, you pussy. I'll what did he say? He said, come over here, you pussy. I'll eat your babies. He said, and I quote, I'll fuck you till you love me. Dude, that is the hardest. That's the hardest. That's the hardest shit I ever heard in my life. That
was after he got out?
Man, that's after he got out. He had the tattoo of Mao and whoever else, and he came out all Buddhist-like, and the dude said the wrong thing, and he was like, you the pussy, and he dropped that joint. I will bang you until you love me. Talking to another grown man.
He was angry at those times.
Man. He was a little upset. I think that's safe to say. But what I was gonna say was, so I thought that so they had James Earl Jones go back and do
the voice. Well, this is what really upset the guy was when they did Return of the Jedi and they took his mask off. David Prowse, the bodybuilder from Britain, was like, all right, I'm finally going to get to show my face. And George Lucas is like, nah, dude, we're putting someone else in. And he was so pissed. Like, James Earl Jones got his voice. This other guy gets his face. So all he has is the body, right?
Dude,
and so forever since then, whenever he would sign autographs, he would sign David Prowse, the real Darth Vader.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was upset.
He was upset. That's hilarious. It's like, dude, you made tons of money, man. Relax. Right?
Well, then again, the 70s, they might not have made as much. No
residuals. Can you imagine no residuals on Star Wars?
Well, they're not getting the residuals. Well, they'll get it from the movies, right? But not merchandise is where the real money.
Yeah. They're not getting none of that. They're not getting none of that.
And a lot of time, I don't know. Do actors get a cut of the movie like that? I mean, you have to really.
You can negotiate that. You can negotiate that. I having a friend who's in the industry. I'm not gonna say no names, no name dropping. Guess all I need is to be like, there go Reg name dropping again. So.
Dude, you name drop every week. It's fun. It's good stories.
Well, I know
give the people what they want.
Yeah, how many people we got now? 15.
It's not good. Ratings are low right now, Reg.
We gotta pump it, man. We're not pumping it enough.
You're gonna have to start doing it shirtless or something. Because all they're seeing is like that big muscle on top of your head, and
that's the brain muscle. I use that's the thinking muscle. That's also to knock your ass out muscle.
Giant bicep. No.
Well, I mean, we can see yours, but you keep yours covered with hats, which is that's a cool hat, by the way.
It's a dope one. This is the Eugene Emeralds. It's a fitted cap, minor league team. I got it for $15, dude.
Nice. I like the gorilla. What is he? Is he eating a tree?
Yeah, it's a pine tree because he's a Bigfoot. You know how they are up in Oregon.
Okay. Big feet eat trees. Wait, what's the big feet? Bigfoot.
I don't know. The Sasquatches.
The Sasquatches. I just call them big feet. So you have Bigfoot.
I guess it would be big feet. It's not Bigfoots.
It's not Bigfoots. So you got a Bigfoot, and if there's more, then you got big feet. Big feet. The big feet.
You got friends in the industry. Well, I got friends.
Well, hold on. I didn't even say what. Hold on.
Oh yeah, we just cut each other off the whole time. We just build. Like I remember last week, I was like, hey, I got good news, and you're like, all right, and you're like, wait, but first, and then we went an entire like 12 minutes until we went back to it.
Yeah, but we came back to it, and that's the key.
We did come back. All right, so go ahead. Your friend in the industry.
Hold up, that's the sign of a good friendship, is that we can cut each other off, and then we still bring it back.
That's what I think I like about you is because we both cut each other off, but we're good. But neither of us are offended by the cutoffs.
No,
we just come back to it, and we both have no problem. Just that's what I like. Have no problem cutting each other off and going back.
Dude, how much would it suck if we cut each other off, and every time we got cut off, one of us got pissed?
Oh, the ratings would go up. Oh, they're like, these motherfuckers hate each other again. It's great. Tune in.
It's like they're fighting on Zoom. I don't even know how they hit each other. They straight up are fighting on Zoom.
Yeah, like Reggie's trying to headbutt him through the thing. I don't understand.
I'm coming with that. This is my my what is it? It's the sperm whale, right? Because you know the sperm whale is heavy in the front to dive deep. That's what this is right here. This helps me get deeper when I go swimming.
So start calling you Moby. Like you want me to start calling you Moby? Moby Steel.
Hey man, look. In this case, I can't even. There's no rebuttal. There's no rebuttal. How am I gonna come back? I mean, it's a nice dome. It is. It's a nice dome. It's
clean.
It's clean. I shaved it this morning. Right.
So what do you use? A straight razor?
What am I, a barber? What am I putting shaving cream?
No, you have like a big white fro of shaving cream, and then you. That's what I'm imagining.
Man. I just do shampoo. I do shampoo in the shower, and then I just use a straight up razor, like a big razor.
Oh, you just put shampoo on the top, and that's all. That's okay.
Yeah.
You never cut yourself?
Nope, not once.
Wow. How many blades? 5?
I think it's 3, maybe 4. 3 or 4.
All right.
Yeah. It's not much. It's not much. Yo, can you hear that dump truck outside?
Not really.
Okay, good. Okay, so to go back to what I was saying.
Were you had a perfect opportunity there. Like you hear that dump truck outside and make you want to go take a nap. I know how you like to sleep in dump trucks, Sal.
Yeah, exactly. Did it make you feel homesick? You're like, the dump truck, the good old days. Sleeping in the back of a dump truck. Back to Missouri. Sleeping in a dump truck and the dump truck under cardboard. Man, that was the good old days.
Oh, wait, we'll go back to that too, but go talk about your friend.
So all I was gonna say is that talking to him, sometimes they will negotiate ownership in the movie, like a percentage, 3%, 2%, whatever, a percentage of the ownership of the film. So whatever the film grosses, then they make some of that, right? And then
is that the big money?
I'm not exactly sure. Like I don't know if it's it grossed 4 billion or 17 billion worldwide. Like I don't know what percentage it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? But I know that there are percentages negotiated.
Well, I'm pretty sure David Prowse did not have that while dressing up as Darth Vader.
No, he did not have that. They're like, dude, your face isn't even in it. It's like we don't even see your body. How do we even know that's your real body? It's covered up completely. Like you see no flesh. You see no flesh from Darth Vader. In fact, I could say that I played Darth Vader, and no one could dispute that.
No one would know. You did play a Sasquatch, didn't you?
I did. Yo, did you find that?
I haven't found it. You told me. I remember you telling me you did it, but I never saw it.
I played Sasquatch. I forgot about that. I played Sasquatch for a tech video, and I'm gonna tell you right now, probably it was a fun gig to do, but one of the worst gigs because I was in that suit. I was in that suit, man, with the head. It was hot, and they wanted me to
wait a minute. They had a mask big enough on that dome.
It is Sasquatch, Sal. It's got to be.
Oh, that's true. Okay. All right, go on.
Well, I feel like this. If you were Sasquatch, no one would be afraid. They'd be like, "Look at his head. His head is too small." Like,
is this a pinhead Sasquatch?
It's a pinhead Sasquatch. Like, I'm not even afraid. Like, I think people would actually come and take pictures with you if you were Sasquatch. They're like, get this guy's head, right? Dude, it was so hot that day. It was hot, and they wanted me to lumber. Have you ever had to lumber?
I have not had to lumber. No.
Dude, where did you film it? We were up in the woods somewhere down by Santa Cruz. Like going down.
It gets warm. Gets warm over there.
Yeah. It's like, and then off some road into the woods, a clearing, and it was straight up me in a big old Sasquatch suit and a big head and walking lumbering and doing the whole thing. Like 8 hours, man.
Oof, that's rough.
That's rough. Every chance I took, I was like, like breathing.
Dude, acting takes a lot out of you too, because you're always on.
Right.
Whenever I would come off a set, I was exhausted afterwards. Like exhausted.
Yeah. I saw a thing today on Instagram where Samuel L. Jackson complained about like working his 6 days straight on set for something that he's filming. And I was thinking, really, Sam? 6 days has got you a little beklempt?
He's been doing it a long time.
Yeah, I guess so. He's like, we can't wrap this up. This is a 3-day shoot easy. He's like, I'm working with amateurs. Got me here for 6 days. What is this bullshit? So
I was going to say, though, I know friends who believe they saw Sasquatch in Oregon.
Really? In Oregon?
Yeah, in Oregon, they believe it, man. Like, and I will say, I believe they believe it.
You believe what the?
I believe they believe they saw it.
Oh, okay.
Because like this, the one girl, she was like a waitress at a club up there. I've been doing in Southern Oregon, so it's a little more rural, but it's pretty small town, mountain town, right? And I've asked the crowd before, and I've asked people on tour, or we went to we did a cave tour, and another guy told me a story about someone who saw a Bigfoot. And
really,
it's crazy. Like the girl told me they were walking somewhere down the way, and there was some object just moving, and they said it moved across, and I was like, well, is it a bear? Because it's big and stuff. But they said it was it was upright, and she said the smell. You noticed the smell, and it was so different. And then it kind of just disappeared. And then this other guy had a story about somebody saw up somewhere up in the mountains. They saw something, but
I wonder. Okay, I'm just curious. I don't know, but I'm wondering, does the Sasquatch smell? Is it the same as like, an old dude living off the grid
in the woods?
It's
like, yo, I'm just trying to do some lumbering.
He's trying to do some lumbering, and he's walking around. He's like, yo, there's no ponds around here for me to bathe in, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe their own fur, just shit sticks through their fur like a bear.
Yeah, exactly. It's an old dude who's never shaved, living off the grid in the woods, walking around. Maybe got dementia.
Yeah, it'd be big. Right?
Gotta be big. Yeah, it's gotta be big. At least 7 feet. The squatches. The squatches come in at 7.
The squatch eye.
The squatch eye coming at 7. Yeah, man, that's funny. I mean, why is it just Oregonians?
Well, it's rather. The woods. It's in the woods. It's the woods.
Yeah, I know, but
always say. But then, then in the snow mountains, they think it's the abominable snowman. You know, there's the Yeti. There's so many different names for it all over the world.
That's true. And I think all those people started off in Oregon and then moved to different places.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, we had a Sasquatch in Oregon. You guys got the Yeti. I saw him. The Yeti and the abominable snowman. Look, man, let me ask you this. Do you believe?
No, but there is like question, like, because, you know, there was like Neanderthal and stuff. So what if, like, you know, through the evolution that there was that, you know, like there was giant sloths and there's, you know, there's all these other crazy animals. I mean, hell, I didn't even know about dinosaurs though 150 years ago, but there would have been fossils at this point. There would have been more evidence, and there's not. And the famous videos, any of the videos, a lot of them all have been debunked. Like that famous one of that guy walking and he turns and looks. It's all grainy and black and white. Yeah, that was just some guy shooting a commercial in Santa Cruz they saw.
There you go. I think
it was a guy dressed up.
It might have been me. Yo, that's crazy, man. Yeah.
But it's Sasquatch. So big there. Their baseball team is named after it. So
yeah, it's fun. Look, man, when you live in an area that's got nothing going on,
right.
You make up the Sasquatch, right? You need tourism bucks. Right, you need some people to come in and patronize the establishments, right? Like it's like, yo, I think it's a calculated effort that started back in whatever. Same thing with the Loch Ness monster.
I was just thinking that the Loch Ness would be the same.
The Loch Ness monster. It's like, yo, we need bodies here, man. We're starving. How do we get people here? We'll come up with a thing, right? And then so.
All right, so I thought we could talk about your fishing story, Reg, because you're bringing up fishing.
My fishing story. I thought it was your fishing story.
I had one too, but what brought it up was because the one thing I forgot to mention about the Missouri trip last week. So you said that was a hit, huh? People were digging it.
Yeah, man. People enjoyed hearing about you being out, getting chased by dogs, and falling on your friends' nuts. And
I haven't heard from my friend Joe since I posted it. I wonder if he listened. I mean, he'll listen.
You might be reminiscing.
I mean, I thought it wasn't that. We thought we weren't too mean, or I thought I was trying to be respectful. It was fine, right?
No, yeah. No, listen, we gave Good Joe major.
Yeah, we gave
props.
Good Joe props. You're right. So he probably just hasn't listened yet.
Yeah, exactly. Now the other Joe can go fuck himself. Right? Hey, Joe gets no respect here. Good Joe, good. Bad Joe, not good. Good Joe, bad Joe. You know, no other races should date it. Nobody should date outside the race because there was a woman I liked one time who dated a guy who wasn't white. It's like, nah, man, she just didn't like your punk ass, bro. That's it. It ain't about the race. She did not like you.
I should try to have him on, dude. That'll be fun.
Oh, that'd be great. I'm like, so tell me about this whole interracial dating. What do you feel about that? I think it's wrong. It's an abomination. Like, is that like the abomination, like the Sasquatch or like the Yeti? You know what I mean? So, yeah, whatever, man. Nah, Good Joe. If you're listening, man, come on, hit up your boy Sal, man. That was a great story, though. It was.
A lot of good stuff.
Dude, I listened to it a couple times, and it's. I thought it was great, man. I mean, you got all the elements, right?
That should make a bit.
Dude, it's a road trip. Invitation from a friend. You get there, and then hell breaks loose. I'm still just kind of blown away by the fact that they just took you out to a piece of land with no shelter.
You remember too, like his dad wanted us to help out and move some wood and do some work or something, and I was like, the hell kind of vacation is this?
That's the kind you work on. It's the kind you work on.
Yeah. I was telling Reggie the biggest. We went to the Bass Pro Fishing Shop, and I was telling him it was the biggest one in the state. I was told it was the second largest tourist attraction in Missouri behind the Arch, the St. Louis Arch. And it was big.
Really? So you got the Arch? And then it's like, can you imagine? Can you read that? You see that pamphlet? All right. So first we're going to see the Arch, the world famous Arch. And then Bass Pro Shop. Like, oh, okay. That's a huge drop off, right? It's a huge drop off to see
the
some
gateway
architectural.
To the West.
Yeah, the gateway to the West is huge. Architectural design, artistic piece, and then a store.
You need some camouflage pants.
Camouflage plant. You need some bait. We got all kind of bait. Whatever bait you need. We got big bait, little bait, black bait, white bait, brown bait. But we keep all the bait separate. We don't put the black baits with the white bait. We keep them separate. Your friend Joe was like, bait. Yeah, keep them separate. No, okay.
Yeah, man. But I didn't buy anything. I don't remember buying anything. But then Reggie's like, I went fishing once, and then he told me this crazy story where you S&M with a fish or something. What was? I don't know what you did. It was,
oh, dude. Wait, which one? You want the one where I was a Boy Scout?
Oh, yeah, so Reggie was a Boy Scout. That's right. Like you were in an organization when you committed this crime.
this atrocity. You want me to tell that story? Well, hold on. Why don't you tell your story first?
Okay, so all right, I'll tell my story. Oh, and it includes Racist Joe was in it too, because when he lived with me in California for a year, and I also lived with my other Ohio buddy Monad, who went a totally different route. He's gone on to become a organic food guy. And that's done really well for him. It's really good. And now he's up north in the Russian River. Good guy.
Okay.
So anyway, so the three of us live together.
Let me just stop you because this is part of what we do, right? So your friend Joe, like, you know, that whole thing whenever you talk about people like in a negative, not a negative way, but like in a bad way, like pointing out that he's a racist or whatever the case may be, or he's just kind of dumb. Sometimes it can be seen as advertising, right? Like it's that whole thing where somebody's like, oh, really? He feels that way? Well, I better call up Joe because I feel the same way too. So we don't want to promote Joe. So we got to give him a name, like something else other than Joe.
No one's going to find him. He's so off the grid.
Oh, you know what? That's true. And we don't say his last name.
No one's going to find him.
All right, cool. All right, good.
Don't worry. I don't think the hate speech clan is going to go... You're like, gotta listen to the Spitballin podcast because they tell us all the racists to follow.
Exactly. Well, no, they would never listen to our podcast because one, it's a black guy and a white guy. Yeah. This is like the counter to everything they believe. Yeah. Right.
They'll be mad at me for just associating with you.
Exactly. Exactly. So, okay.
And then if I'm Italian, then they hate Italians at times. Oh, depends how deep they go. Depends how deep.
Dude, they got a lot to hate. They hate your hat right now. They hate your hat too. They hate everything. So,
all right. So what the hell was it? Oh, the fishing. Okay, so Monad is a funny guy. We call him Monad because it's funny. His name's Jason, but I'm like, no. But because one time he had some story in Ohio and he said, hey, if you have like one gonad, does that mean you have a mononad? And everyone thought it was so dumb, they just started calling him Monad. And that was it. And it stuck forever.
Dude, that's so bad. That's so bad.
But it's such a good nickname. It's a
great nickname. But what's his last name?
Mahan, too. So it kind of like mixed. It fits. Monad. But then he had all these brothers, and when we named them all, there was... we just took the first initial of all their letters and added it. So it'd be Monad. Then his brother, Brad, was Bonad. Then there was Ronad, Tonad, and Gonad. Gonad, which is his other brother, Galen. He just got the first one.
Dude, that's awesome.
They're the Nads. They're a bunch of Nads.
They're the Nads, the Gonads. That's funny, man. Oh my goodness. How nicknames are created and how they stick for life.
Forever. Yeah, dude. Forever. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Like I'll see it with his wife. I'll be like, "What's up, Monad?" It's still.
Oh, he's married. Okay,
he's married. I think he got married. Actually, I don't know if he got married. He had a kid though. He just had a kid last year.
Okay, good to him. Good for him.
Little Silas. So anyway, the Nad, as I like to call him, he's the guy I moved out here with, and then like a year later, convinced my other buddy Joe to come on out, and then. One day Nad wanted to go. He learned about crabbing. Now the San Francisco Bay is known for Dungeness crabs, dude.
Yeah,
but you're not allowed to catch
crustaceans.
Yeah. Look at you, Reggie Attenborough. So
crustacean. Okay, good.
So they have to go crabbing, you got to feed Monad found out you got a crab cage. And what you do is you put chicken in it. And chicken? Yeah, that's what he found out. You put chicken in. Now we didn't know you just put raw chicken in.
Okay.
We didn't know. We went to KFC.
Shut up. You guys put fried chicken in.
We went and bought a bag of fried chicken. And we put it in this cage. And then you close the cage. And then the idea is, and then you put the cage in a big circle net. And the idea is you drop that in the bay. And then the crabs will come up to the cage, grab onto it, and just start eating the chicken with it and hold on to it. And then you come back after like a half hour, 45 minutes, and you lift the whole net up. And they have a cage full of crabs in it.
Right.
That's how it works.
Just for the record, I want everyone to know that there is a part of me right now that's trying so hard not to make a crab and fried chicken and black people joke right now. Right. Like I'm so, because black people love crab legs.
Oh, right? They do love crab legs. Yeah. I guess yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, black people love crab legs, man. And so the idea that you guys thought that crabs somehow like fried chicken and black people like crabs, it's too easy. It's too easy. So I'm not making a joke, but everyone who's hearing this right now is making one up in their head.
So what's your joke? What's your joke?
No, I'm just saying, I think that there's something to be said about crabs that eat fried chicken and black people who eat crabs. I just think that it's like, maybe on some level, crabs taste like fried chicken.
Well, I will say this. We pulled it up and we caught 4. We caught 4. And the reason is crabs will eat
4 hood crabs. Okay.
Yeah, the crabs will eat anything. They'll eat anything. So it didn't even, but I maybe we would have caught more if the chicken was raw. But we pulled it up. There were 4 crabs in it. And we figured that was enough. Went home and cooked them ourselves in beer.
Were they big enough?
In beer. Yeah, they were rock crabs. They're the little red ones. They're not the big dungies. And it's weird, dude. You take this thing and it's moving and you just put it in with the steam and then boom. But I will say this, bro.
Yeah.
It might have been the best crab I ever had. It was so fresh. You're not going to get fresher than that.
You're not going to get fresher than that. Did it taste like Popeye's chicken? Like, did it taste like?
It had a little fried chicken taste to it.
Just for the record, for everyone, not even anybody ever asked this, but if I had to kill my food to eat, I'd be a vegetarian, dude. I'm like straight up. I just be eating potatoes and greens and grapes and apples and shit. Because the idea of killing, because I know how you eat, like same thing with lobsters and crabs. I mean, you put them in there alive, right? Like you boil the water.
It's like weird. It's weird. That's the weirdest. I only did it that time one time. It's the only time I ever did it.
Jeez.
And another thing though, crab, and they were so small too. These are small crabs. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work for little meat.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's really good.
No, well, if you're a vet, then you just crack everything and then put all the meat aside, right?
Oh, you do that? Is that how you do it?
I mean, if you really want to enjoy it, because if like you're working for every single thing, it's like work and eat. But if you have patience, you crack everything up, put your meat aside, and then at some point you got a bunch of shells, and then you got a plate of crab meat, and then you got your little melted butter. Now that's what I'm talking about.
That's how you do it? That seems so like...
Well, not all the time. I'm like everybody else too. Like I just crack and go. But when I have the patience to do it, then I enjoy it like that.
Hell, if you did that, dude, across from me, I would steal your crab so fast. Like, look at this big pile of meat Reggie left for us.
And you can't get away because I'm faster than you.
Yeah, we did race that one time and you beat me, and I was like, this guy's an athlete. This guy's fast. I was like, I thought I was faster just because I was skinnier and I was like fast, but you were faster.
Yeah. I was pretty fast, man. I played this untrained. I ran a 4.40. I honestly think if I would have trained, I could have ran a 4.3.
That's like NFL, right?
Yeah. I mean, guys in the NFL combine just recently ran, like one of the fastest guys ran a 4.27, which is nuts. Deion Sanders ran like a 4.29, maybe a 4.3, but I was at a 4.4, and that was untrained. If I trained for it, I could have shaved off that. I could have got a 4.3.
You've run it before. Why would you have to run? You'd have to run it for college.
I ran it for I was at a basketball camp in North Carolina. I was at a basketball camp in North Carolina called Prep Stars, and their whole thing was like, it was like a combine. So you show up, they measure your height, your wingspan, your vertical. They tested your 40. They just had a bunch, like how many times you could touch the rim in the row. Like it was just, it was like, so then you went into the scouting report as far as like age 17, 6'3", 185 pounds, wingspan this. And then at the end, it's like, mid-level Division I, mid-level to low to mid-level Division I, small guard, whatever the case may be. Like it had a whole rundown for you that went to all the coaches, and then you just end up getting letters and people looking at you. You play games and stuff. So
that's fast, man.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, when I ran it, it was funny because at that time, based on my size, the guy looked at me, and when he clocked me, he goes, "I swear to you," I run past him, he goes, "You play football?" I was like, "Nah." He was like, "You should play football." You should play football. He's like, "You just ran this time, right?" And I was like, and I wasn't even thinking about football. I was just like, "Oh, okay, well, I play basketball, but thanks." Like not fully understanding what that meant until later, when it was like, then I go, "Oh my goodness!" For the size that I had, the size that I am
you
now,
could tight end
easily. Easily. I mean, I was good at football. I mean, not good at football. I was good at baseball, which I enjoyed, and I was good at basketball, obviously. But if I would have played football, I think I probably could have done well at that too. But that's a hard one because I don't like getting hit. I would have had to be on offense or defense. I'm sorry. I had to be on defense.
You never played?
Never played. I went out with my cousin one time in the summer, and because my cousin played, he was a running back, and he'd been playing since he was small. Ended up going to college playing. And I went out with him because they were like, "Oh, Red, you should come out. You got size, you'd be good," and all this kind of stuff. You got some agility and quickness and speed. And I went out there, and Sal, we were out there for, it felt like at least 4 hours, and we never touched a foot. We never touched a ball.
That shit sucks.
It was like, it was running and push-ups and crunches and drills and, doing all this stuff. And I said, "Hey, when do we play with the ball?" And the coach was like, "Well, it depends on what position you play. You may not ever touch the ball. If you're on offense, you may, if you're on defense, you may not touch the ball." And I was like, "Man, I got to play with the ball. Damn this." I want to play with the ball. Because in baseball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball, you throw the ball, right? Yeah. In basketball, you catch, you dribble, you shoot.
You always got it, yeah.
You always got the ball. In football, there are guys that play football that legitimately never touch the ball during the course of a game.
Yo, totally, dude. So I played for 4 years, dude. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Nice.
But those first few years, I mean, you never passed 5th and 6th graders, like especially back then. And I remember I'd play tight end a lot, and they just put me on the end. And I'd have to block a defensive end, which is the fucking worst because usually they're one of the biggest, baddest guys on the thing, right? And really though, I would just block the whole game. That's all you did. You never touched the ball. It fucking sucked.
It sucked. It sucks. It sucks, man.
And then as I got older, they would pass a little. But I remember one time we had a scrimmage against this other team, and this kid, he was like one of the best defensive ends in the league. And I had to block this dude. My quarterback got like sacked 3 times in a row. When you go back to the huddle, dude, you're like, "Yeah, sorry, you just got your back broken." I'm trying. I don't know what to do, bro. Dude, just
like try harder. Shit. And then this dude is killing me over here.
They took me out. They put like a linebacker in to block this guy, and it was just a battle between those two. But
nice. At least the quarterback wasn't getting his head beat in.
No.
Whereas you come back to the huddle every time. Sorry.
Dude, it's so uncomfortable. Sorry about that, bro. That guy's big. I remember one time I was playing. I was fast, so I do punt coverage, right? And I was the end guy. So we had one job when you're coming to cover the punt was you don't let the guy outside of you. You're the last guy on the edge. If they get around, they're gone, right? So I'm running, and of course these teams, 7th, 8th grade. Oh, this kid's 6'2". He's our best guy. Give him everything. So this team we're playing, they give this guy the ball all the time, and they even made him the fucking punt returner, right? And it's like, this is bullshit. So we punt it off, and I'm running down. I'm like, and I see this big dude. He gets it. I'm like, oh, he starts cutting my way. I'm like, all right, well, he'll be going in soon. I'm like, oh, he'll be going in. And then I look, and I'm really right on the edge of the out of bounds, right? I'm like, well, he's got to cut in, dude. He'll go out of bounds. He's still coming. Dude runs me fucking right over. It's like his knee hits me in the head, right? But he trips over my limpless body and then falls 5 yards down.
That's funny.
I just remember looking up all like woozy, and my coach is over my face like, that's how you do it, Sal. Make him go inside. That's how you do it.
And you're like, can I come out now? Like,
yeah, I was like, the hell? You ran me over.
You got trucked. You got trucked by. That's funny. You just got trucked, dude. That's funny, man. That's hilarious. You said he tripped over my limp body.
He did, dude. That's what stopped him.
Oh, that's funny, man. Oh, dude, we talk about fast, man. When I ran track as a kid, man, I was fast, man. I was always the anchor on the relay races. So the 440 relay, I ran the 100-yard dash, the 50-yard dash. I also did the shot put and because I was strong, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, I did all the speed, and then I did the 880 and the 440 too, which is like 4 times around, 2 times around, and then 4 times around, right? So I had the stamina, and then I had the speed to go with it too. Wow. So all right, but so is it my turn for my fishing story?
Yeah, let's hear your fishing. Is this the only time you ever went fishing?
No, I went fishing twice.
You told me 2 stories? I can't remember. I might be combining them into one.
No, it was 2 stories. The first one was short. I went with my buddy AJ.
Oh, where they broke the thing.
No. Wait.
The hook broke or something. Oh, yeah. You go ahead. Tell you. Yeah.
Okay. I don't so I'll tell you.
Oh, no, wait. That was funny. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the first one is just short, right? This because we talked about this because this is the only time I went to the Bass Pro Shop or the whatever it is.
Right. That's what brought it up. That's right.
Right. So my buddy AJ, his dad, Alvin Heyman, great guy. He passed away some years ago. Rest in peace to him. But real cool dude, man. So he decided to take us fishing. It's me, AJ, and my boy CJ. Right now, CJ loves fishing. That's his thing. He's excited about it. He loves being out in the water.
He's from up there. CJ, where's he from?
CJ grew up in LA and went to school in San Jose. We went to school at St. Mary's together, played ball together.
I just figured you'd have to grow up around a river if you really like fishing.
Well, he and his dad would go. He and his dad and his brother would go fishing, like out into the woods, wherever, somewhere down there. So he was excited about going fishing. Alvin obviously loved fishing. AJ was happy to spend time with his dad and his friends. And I was like, oh, cool, I'll just go. So I show up and it's like, oh, we got Reg. He from Alabama. Oh man, this is what you do, right? And I was like, nah, I don't do this. Right. So basically, long story short, man, we get out in the water and we having a great time. And there's just a lot of sitting and waiting. Yeah. Just a lot of sitting and waiting. And so I told them about the story when I went fishing once as a Boy Scout as a kid. And I was like, yeah, we caught some trout, right? Like it was, what kind of trout is it? Like a rainbow trout, or it was like a bubbleback trout. I was like, is that I was like, is that a fish? That's a fish, right? Like there's the bubbleback rainbow trout, right? And they were like, nah, that ain't no such thing. I don't even know what you're talking about right now. Like you making up shit. So I told them this story that when I was a Boy Scout, me and my boy Carlos, it was a camping trip for the whole Boy Scouts. We went to Camp Sequoia. Okay. And at this one point, me and my friend Carlos, we find a fishing rod, and they had one of those long, like we found a worm. It was a black worm. It was probably about this long though, right? It was probably, for the people who are just listening, it had to be like 4 inches, 5 inches long, right?
So you found this fishing rod in Alabama, just in a field or something?
No, at the campgrounds, they had it, right? Okay. So they got this little pond, lake, or whatever it is, and so we decide we're gonna go fishing. right? We're like, yo, let's go fishing. So we grab a rod and we grab one of the hooks, one of the baits, and it's a black rubber fish. And we don't know that you put it like in the middle of the bait. So we put it on one end. So just imagine you got this worm and it's got the hook on one end, and then it's just rest of the body is just out, right? So we throw it out there into the water. We're doing everything we've seen on TV. And we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, the line starts to go tight. And we're like, oh, snap, right? Like, oh. And so I tell Carlos, I'm like, yo, reel it in. And he's like, what you talking about, reel it in? Like, I'm like, turn the thing to pull it in. He doesn't understand that, right? Because we don't know nothing about fishing rods. This dude literally just yanks the fishing rod. He yanks the fishing rod, out flies this fish, right? And we're sitting there looking at it, and the thing is flopping around the ground. And we realized that the hook isn't stuck in his mouth. He was swallowing the worm. And so we just yanked the fish out of the water with like a fish, like a worm, like in his belly or something, in his belly. And he's sitting on the ground and he's flopping around. And neither one of I was like, well, Carlos, do something. He's like, I ain't touching it. And I was like, well, I ain't touching it. Neither one of us wanted to touch this fish. So we had a crate with us and we just put the crate over it. What we should have done, let me just go ahead and say this. We should have just threw the fish back into the water.
We were too afraid to touch it.
I mean, even at that point, if you kick it back into the water, I think the fish is like, thank you. Right?
Right. It's like, I can breathe.
I can breathe. He's like, that wasn't comfortable, but at least I'm still alive. So neither one of us wants to touch it. Neither one of us has the wherewithal to think of just kicking it back into the water. So we covered up with this crate, and the thing flops around until it dies, right? And we're like, oh well, okay, I guess we gotta do something with it. So we stayed that night on the campsite. So we come back with this fish, like pick it up with sticks and carry it back or whatever. And you got a bunch of kids.
Who's holding it?
That's what I'm saying. Nobody was holding it. It was like on sticks. Like we carried it with like stick. Yeah, we carried it like. We just didn't want to touch it, man. I don't know why. And so we get back to the campsite, man, and we tell all of our other friends, like, yo, we caught a fish. And everyone's excited. Oh, you guys got a fish? Oh, man, this is great. And one friend's like, yo, let's cook it. So now debauchery ensues, right? Like, it was a debacle, right? I don't think I can use debauchery, because debauchery is like, isn't that like sex related? It doesn't matter.
I don't know. It sounds bad.
It
sounds bad when y'all started having sex with this fish.
Yeah. Chaos. I'll say chaos. Chaos ensues. So now we know we got to gut it, right? Like that's the thing. You got to take the insides out, right? So one friend cuts it. The friend who's not afraid to touch it, he cuts it, and then it's like, yo, you got to pull the stuff out, and it kind of, some of it got pulled out, some didn't. There's blood, there's everything, and then we're like, oh well, we gotta scale the fish, right? Like, I don't even know if that's a thing, like descaling a fish.
I think it is. Yeah, you have a brush and you just rub it off the scales.
Okay, well, we didn't have that. We just had a knife. And so we going against the scales, and they're like popping off, like popping, like pop, 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 like scales are going away, pop, 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 right? It's like, it's all bad. And then we tried to skin it and couldn't get the skin off. And then the head wasn't cut off yet. And we tried, when I say that we mutilated this fish, it's like an understatement. Like I'm not fully describing how bad. Like, it got to the point that it was like, by the time us as kids were done with this fish, there was nothing to cook.
Oh, it's so gross.
It's so bad, man. So we end up just kind of throwing it into the woods, and something else ate it, I'm sure. Hopefully it went back to Mother Earth. But yeah, man, it was I told them that story on the boat, right? I told them that story, and they were looking at me like, what is wrong with what we know about Alabama? Is it not true? Right? Like, you got a bunch of kids from Alabama who don't know how to fish, who don't know how to gut a fish and descale it or whatever else. Oh man. I mean, we had a good laugh. It was fun, but yeah, man, I had to be like, this is like middle school. So like 6th, 7th grade, somewhere around there.
So you never had water around. Well, I guess you had no one to go fishing with. You have to go with someone. You can't just go by yourself unless you're really into it.
Yeah, unless you're really into it. That was not happening.
I remember like one of the cool times I went to Venezuela, right? One time, and we were in the middle of this. It's only only exotic place I've been. And so we went down there with Monad. Me and Nad went to Venezuela. Nice. He had a friend who, and his friend met us down there. But anyway, long story short, we were staying in this jungle in this village, and they had this big school bus. It was like a 5-mile walk from the village to the coast, to the beach.
Okay.
And they had an old like 70s school bus that would take all the townspeople every day. And these were just fishermen who would go fish. But kids would go too. And it was funny too, man. Like you didn't want to, you wanted to be on the bus, because if you had to walk, and I'd walk and all the rocks and hurting my bare feet, and these little Venezuelan kids are just running around me laughing like, oh, look at this little pussy. You can't, because their feet are so used to it, right? And all the little kids, they see my tattoo and they're like, Homero.
Oh wow, that's cool.
That was cool. Really? So, but we're taking the bus back the one day, and this little kid, I'm telling you, Reg, he was like 5, maybe 6. And he had the biggest lobster I ever saw in his hand, just sitting there, just holding it. It's moving, it's a claws, and he's holding it, riding the bus to take it home to his family in the village. And I was like,
oh wow, that's cool,
dude.
That's a different way of life, man. Totally. See that right there? Yeah, that's like, this is for survival, right? Like,
yeah,
right. Like, this is food for the family. For us as kids, man, we didn't have to fend for food. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, catching a fish, we didn't know what to do with it. Like, right, that wasn't our MO. You know what I mean? Yo, I want to ask you this, because I'm looking at the time. Yo, you know, we're close
got
to
10
an hour.
minutes. We're doing good.
Yeah. All right. So, I want to ask you this real quick, and I want you to, you know, you don't have to make it quick, but this is a comedy related story, right? This is about you, Cleveland, comedy, California. How does that happen? Right?
What do you mean?
Meaning, what was happening in Cleveland, and when did you decide, yo, I want to do stand-up, and if I want to do it, I gotta go to California? Like, did you ever try stand-up in Ohio?
No,
never, not once.
No.
But you wanted to do it bad enough that you left.
I loved well, I didn't like Cleveland, dude. It's just boring. It was too small for me, I feel. I couldn't. I would just look out.
Cleveland.
Well, I like this town.
Okay.
Well, it's big, but it wasn't big enough for me, my friend.
Okay.
I wanted more. Like I just remember I was in the suburbs, and I was looking out the window, and it's just like, just nothing but other suburban homes. I'm like, ugh, this does not interest me at all.
All right, hold on. I gotta ask you this. I'm curious about this. This doesn't interest you at all. You're sitting in your house, you're looking out. Were your thoughts influenced by, because you know how TV at that time, with, you know, even now, TV plays a huge factor or has a huge impact on people's ideas. Like, were those images or the idea of that like planted in your head from maybe movies you had seen where other people? You know?
I was into music, so I started playing guitar, and I learned guitar, and I was in a band, and I was in a few bands, and then so I wanted art. Art was my thing. I painted a little. I did poetry a little. I did all kinds of shit. I was, I would get depressed too, and and then I'd use the art to go fuel that, right? And so like I was doing that.
You mean to express that, or to express your depression?
That. Yeah. Okay. Mean cathartic or all that, and then but so, you know, and I was but I wanted out, dude. And then I took my last year of college. I got a degree in science, and my family still doesn't listen to me about fucking vaccines. But anyway, so I got a degree in science. And then the last year, though, I took acting class. I took a film class. I made my own little college film. I directed it. I put all my friends in it. I edited it. A friend of mine, he had cancer. I put him in it, and then, like, you know, he passed not much long after, so it was like cool to be able to put him in. So it was like, Murgle's in it, like everybody's in it, and I'm still trying to get it digitized. It's bad. It's 20 minutes long. It's funny. I have my friend Dwan from the ballpark. He was making fun of me because he's like the only black guy I had in it, and anytime he'd be on, I was putting hip hop music in the background. He's like, really, dude, really? But you know, like, you don't.
He called you out on that shit.
Yeah, because you don't. But that's what I think is important, because people are ignorant and not even know. You know what I mean? And even with good intentions, they don't even know. So it's good to get clowned and get called out. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, so anyway, I wanted out. And yeah, I guess the West Coast. You know what it was? I went to Vegas with some friends one time. I was 20 or something. And I remember I was on top of the stratosphere and I was looking out west the mountains. It was the mountains are nice. I never had mountains really. I mean, they have them in Cleveland, like Appalachians, but it ain't like out west. Yeah. And I just saw that in the desert and the beauty. And I'm like, I'm out, bro. Going west, dude. And I had to convince my friend Monad, because I guess it was a little, I don't know, it'd be easier with somebody. And I convinced him. And then I do remember a few months before, I got a little cold feet because I had no job. I just was about to graduate college. I had no idea. And Monad got a job out here doing like tech stuff, but it was like very low money, like in the $20,000 range. Right? Oh, wow. And I came out with him and we moved to San Bruno. We drove across the country in 3 days. And then the comedy thing, like I always liked early 90s SNL. And so I always loved that. So I wanted to do something. I knew I was funny. I was always funny with my friends. You know, I thought the short film I made was kind of funny. And like, so I just wanted to do comedy. And I didn't know if I wanted to do improv, but then stand-up was cool because you didn't need anybody else.
Right, you know right.
And then, I took the comedy classes where I met you, but then I started doing the mics. And then, but it was like, once you do the first, you get that first laugh. And then I was talking about this with you, and we could do it next time or whatever, about talking about family. But the first joke I ever did was about my father, and I was impersonating my father. And I told him, I was like, hey, I'm going to move out to California. It's been fun living with you. It's time to move on. Joke. It's time to move out. And he's like, California? What are you, an asshole? What's wrong with you? Like, that was literally... I love that joke. And these weren't even jokes. Joke. I was just like reiterating what they would say. And I was like, I knew what they were saying was funny and kind of fucked up, but until I said it to crowds and they were laughing their asses off, did I realize I was right.
Dude, you're right. Man, how crazy. I mean, that's funny as hell. Hey, I'm moving to California. What are you, an asshole?
And I remember I was afraid to tell my dad, like I had it all set up and it was just me and my dad living together. And I was like, I told him like a week and a half before I was leaving.
You weren't living with your mom at that point?
No, my parents were divorced. Right. My mom moved down to Florida.
Oh, that's right.
She got remarried. That didn't last. And then after 9 months, came back, and I was living in her house. That's when I was living on my own with my friends. That was all kinds of stuff. Had a band. We had 2 drum sets in the basement. We were rocking. It was an awesome time.
Dude, that's all. Hold up. Your mom remarried, and then 9 months later
came back. Yeah. The guy was a little, she found like this room. The guy had all these naked paintings or something. She thought he was a little perv. He was a little pervy. I remember because my brother got married and I was really drunk at the wedding, and he like came up to me and he convinced me to like start putting fake names in the guest register, like Bend Over came over and stuff like that.
No way.
And so I might have put a couple in, but they got mad at me, and I was like, hey man, this dude is the one to encourage me.
Yeah.
He took advantage of me.
Exactly. I was drunk.
I was drunk, dude. So, dude. And that's how my family found out my tattoo, because my shirt was off at the wedding and I just got it.
Oh, dude.
My dad still didn't know about it though.
Even up to
he didn't see. Well, no, he knew. Oh, that's a funny story. All right, we'll wrap on this, dude. The way my dad found out about my tattoo, I was cutting the grass one day. It was hot, bro. Hot as hell that day. And so I took the shirt off. And and the old man, he wanted that grass cut before he got home, so I better get on it. So you go back and forth. I'm like, and I saw the car coming down the street, right?
Oh,
he pulls into the driveway, and this dude doesn't even pull all the way up to the drive. He just stops in the middle, and he waits until I start coming back over to cut, so he could get a good look at it, right? And I'm coming, I'm like, oh fuck, and I turn, and he's and then he goes, what, you got a tattoo now? I was like, what was that, a picture of you? What was that, a tattoo of you?
Yo, I've known you for a long time. I've never heard you say that. ever. Dude, that's fun. You how have you not said that on stage? He looked at a picture of Homer Simpson on your arm and said, what is it? Is that you? All right, go ahead.
My dad was the ultimate ball buster. That's like everyone says I'm a balls buster, but I got my balls busted my whole life. Like I remember I wanted to grow my hair out and I was so afraid to grow my hair long, right? And because I remember I shaved my head in 11th grade. So I couldn't shave my head. I do look, I have a nice dome. And I remember my dad, he was like, oh, looks good on you. Nice short haircut, right? Well, then years later, I grew it out, right? And I remember I would always I was like, oh, I gotta put it in a ponytail. I put it in a ponytail around my friends all the time, but not my dad. Yeah. And then one day I was upstairs, I was like, all right, this is it. I'm gonna do it. I put the ponytail in. I'm like, I'm just gonna go down the fridge. He's down in the living room. He won't even know. So I go down in the kitchen, and of course he walks up to the kitchen exact time. And I was like, shit. And he just stops. He's like, oh, you got a ponytail now? What are you, a girl? I didn't know I got 2 daughters. So I got another daughter. Like you just start talking to nobody there. Like it was, and I always started with a question. What are you, an asshole? What are you? What is that, a tattoo now? What? Like, I don't know why, but
oh, dude,
you got a ponytail now?
Oh, dude, this is comedy gold right here, dude. I swear to you, that's hilarious, man. That is hilarious, dude. Oh, I never got to meet your dad, man.
I know, dude. I wish more people got to meet him. He came out one time, and you were talking about doing your mom, and people would come up to him and go, "Oh, your son does an impression of you. It's great." And he would tell me, and then people would tell him, I'm like, he's like, oh, I bet he says a lot about me. And but yeah, he never came out. I remember it bummed me out. I went to Cleveland. I had a guest set at the Cleveland Improv, and I was like, hey, you want to come watch me do a set? And he come out. Oh, I don't want to do that. And then one time there was some kind of party. It was all family there. And I just stood up and did like 5 minutes on my dad for all of them. And they died. They loved it. And he was there and he was cool with it. Because I did him spot on. Like I do it. Yeah. It's so weird because people don't really understand him when I like talk, but that's him. Like I remember those letters I used to read. He'd write those threatening letters to me every morning.
Yeah.
I'd wake up and he'd be like, Sal, clean your room. If you don't clean, out of the house you go. It was all broken English and shit. But it was hardcore. Dude, I still understood it clearly.
Yes. Dude, that is awesome, man. We got to talk about your dad more. I'm serious. We got to talk about your dad more. Good stuff. It's great stuff, man. I'm moving to California. What are you, an asshole? What? Yo, you got a tattoo now? You got 20? Oh, dude. Oh, man. Thank you for sharing those stories, man. I mean, we'll delve into that more next time because I'm sure there's tons there.
It's good stuff, dude. The time, time you got to fight with my brother. It was good stuff.
Wait, a fist fight?
Yeah, dude, it was physical. It's good.
What?
Crazy shit, dude. Crazy.
Oh, man.
Crazy good stuff. But hey, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Tune in next week where we'll talk some more about Sal's dad kicking ass and taking names. And then I'll share my story about my earring.
And you're
yeah, when I got an earring, my mom had a feeling about that.
Fun. All right.
And then maybe I can share the story about her seeing first.
Oh, that's just funny. You got to share.
You think it's funny?
Oh, it's hilarious, dude.
Okay.
Reggie.
Rick, I know somebody told me. I know that I got friends in California. They told me you out there making fun of me on stage.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Tune in next week. Enjoy this one, and we'll catch you later.
Peace.